Hello there, and welcome to Docking Bay 327. Today, we're going to look at my epic room build of this. My new weapons rack for my, let's see, what wall is that? Southeast. My west wall. I had to think about that for a minute. I'll walk you through my idea for it, how it came to be, and then how I put it all together and installed it. So let's get into it. So here is my inspiration from Season 1, Episode 1 of The Mandalorian inside his Razor Crest. Something about these beams caught my interest, so I drew out a similar design in Adobe Illustrator. Since each side is a mirror image, I cut it in half and then saved it as a PDF file. This will allow you to print out the design on a standard computer printer, but tape all the paper together for a full-scale template. Simply choose the Tile Full Pages under the scaling option so it divides the image on 8.5 by 11 paper. And here's what the PDF will look like. After printing it all out, I lined up the pages and taped them together first. This makes it easier to cut out the template more precisely. Once I traced the pattern onto the MDF, it was just a matter of cutting it out with my jigsaw. I then used the left side I cut out to trace out the right side onto the MDF and cut it out the same way. The right side was a little larger than the left and not as clean with the cuts, so I used double-sided tape to secure them together. My late father was definitely way more a professional woodworker than I am, but he left me this set of bits. Don't eat this, by the way. I used a flush trim bit on my router to clean up the cuts to get them as close to the same as possible. While the sides were still stuck together, I cut out the interior shapes, so I only had to cut out 2 shapes instead of 4. It saved me some time, and the shapes were identical mirror images. I admit the tape did leave some funky residue on both pieces, so I had to do quite a bit of cleanup. It was a bit of a pain, to be honest, but getting both sides to match made it worth it to me. If I had a laser cutter, this would have been an absolute breeze. All the sanding made quite a bit of dust, so I wiped the pieces down to prep them for sealing. I then applied a coat of primer, and then a couple coats of my favorite dark gray spray paint. To add some texture to the cutouts, I added some of this screen material I had lying around. I tried several methods, but ended up just using hot glue to adhere to the masonite board scraps to fill in the holes. Next, I had these red handles that I thought would look good on each side. Now this is why I never throw anything away. I had these threaded bolts from an old TV mount that just happened to be the perfect diameter and threading. I couldn't believe they actually fit. In order for the display to have some depth, I used this EVA foam to wrap around the inside of the frame. I had this laser cut acrylic piece from my friend Brian over at the Smuggler's Room, and it fit perfectly on the centerpiece that will attach the two sides. I made sure to leave plenty of room in back so I could add some buttons, knobs, and switches, as well as some LEDs. Finally, to make the back plate that will hold all my blasters and lightsabers and such, I used my router to carve out some notches in the MDF, just to give it some interest and texture. Now it was time to install everything. Guess I'll find another home for my guitars. I used 1x3 boards screwed into the wall studs. Then I attached my go-to chalkboard MDF panels to create the wall. I also built these custom brackets to attach the side panels and the centerpiece to the wall. Now, before I show you the close-up shots and in more detail, I just want to take a minute to thank all my Patreon members. You guys are awesome. You really help keep me motivated and going, and so I really appreciate your support. If you would like to be a part of the Patreon community that I have, follow the link in the description below and sign up. You'll get access to some exclusive content, behind-the-scenes kind of stuff. All right, here we go. The final shots of my weapons epic room build display. So there you go, my epic weapons rack for my ship. Everything ready in case I get attacked by stormtroopers. Got my blasters, my rifle, my lightsabers, and my helmets. I'm prepared. Be sure and hit that subscribe and the bell so you'll be alerted when I push out new content. And until next time, build with what you know and figure out the rest.